All right, good afternoon, Morgan and Harper. I want to thank you guys for coming and sitting down with me today. As I mentioned during my meetings with each of you, we're here to work out a solution to the issues that have been causing conflict and hostility uh, between the two of you. Now, from what I understand, after discussing it with each of you, the two of you have been arguing over work that's been assigned to the other staff. What we want to do here today is come to an agreement on how to resolve these issues best so that the two of you are not arguing anymore. It's important that these issues get resolved because the tasks assigned to the staff are what keeps the company running smoothly. So we're here today to discuss alternatives to solve the problem. Now, before we begin, I would like to establish some ground rules. Now, my role is that of an observer. In other words, you two should talk to each other and not to me. I may interject from time to time to get some clarification on an issue or keep the conversation moving. But next, in my pre-meeting with each of you, we agreed that we would use this uninterrupted time to work together to solve the problems. So to keep from being interrupted, I would request that you please put away your cell phones or put them on silent and take off any smartwatches that may cause a distraction. I would like for both of you to be here in the moment so that we can work on this together to resolve these issues. We also agreed that no one would leave the session until we have come to some resolution to the problem. Now, before we begin, do either of you have any questions for me?
No.
All right.
Nope.
If not, I believe we're ready to begin the conversation. So whoever wants to begin can start.
Well, I'll just go ahead and begin. I am really sick and tired of your stuff, Harper, with you going around and telling the employees not to do something that they've been tasked with, going to the CEO and talking about me behind my back. You don't even have the audacity or even like the courage to come and talk to me yourself. And it's really petty and really just unprofessional how you handle yourself in the office.
Well, the things that I say about you are all things that I'm willing to say to you as well. These are all things that we've discussed in person. But
But you
I I don't think that it's appropriate for you to be handing over all of your own tasks to the other employees because you feel like you're too overwhelmed to do it yourself. And so I remind them that they don't always have to listen to you.
Okay, and if you have an issue with it, you're filling a role. You're not officially promoted. You're just helping out for the time being. And you're taking on this job like as if you're the one in charge of everything. I was directed by the CEO to do this, and then it was such a large task because we're missing a lot of information. And so I divvied it up. I divvied evenly. It's not like I just tasked one person to do with it. Everybody had a cut of it. And then you went there and told them, well, you guys don't have to do this. Like, what is, and you came and come and talk to me like, well, hey, these people have other stuff going on and they're having to do it. Nothing was said to me until I had to go and get the paperwork and everything done at the end of it. And nothing was done.
I think if you were to respect my position and respect how the employees feel about me and how they listen to me and respect that when it comes to divvying out these tasks, then maybe it can be handed over more smoothly, because the whole reason why I said anything to them in the first place was because they came to me complaining about how unnecessary it was for you to give it to them. So if you were to come to me in the first place and say, this is the task that we have to hand down, then I might be able to help you with translating that down to them so that they don't also not like their jobs.
Okay, but so you're talking about respect. What you did, was that respectful? Just telling them not to do anything and just leaving it up to hang and not even say anything to me? And go and talk to the CEO and and other people like negatively about me? Is that respectful? Because I sure don't think it is.
I see what you mean. I could see how coming to you would be the appropriate response, especially when my concern is that you're not coming to me with your concerns. So I can see what you're talking about. I see what you mean about that.
Okay. So, Morgan, I can see that you're feeling attacked and ignored in this circumstance, and that what you need is support and to be heard and acknowledged. What could we do as a company to help you realize?
Well, I think also part of that is like, it's just really frustrating too, right? Is, you know, he's acting in this managerial role. So he should, you know, with that managerial role, come and talk to me as like supervisor to supervisor, you know, have one-on-one instead of just annexing something completely without any knowledge or, you know, consultation to me, you know, actually have a sit down.
Okay. Harper, do you think that's a reasonable
I
request?
do. I
Here,
see what they're talking about. What Morgan's talking about. I understand how it can be disruptive to the company to interact with the employees that way and not talk to Morgan first.
Okay. So it sounds like a good solution to this problem that we're having here is that, you know, the two of you discuss and work on work assignments together, you know, dividing up the work between the employees to make sure that nobody's getting too overloaded or overworked and that nobody's falling behind on their other tasks.
I agree
Correct?
with. I think that works, and I think that I I understand how my part in this position is more of an assumed role, but it's not just me that assumes it, but the other employees assume it as well. They all feel that I'm somebody that they can respect and can talk to in this regard. So if we can interact this way and help disperse work out to them that way, I feel like they'll be happier as well, and they will appreciate it more.
Well, one of my biggest things coming with that is that, you know, you guys have like these 2 hour long breaks in your office, and then you're going to switch up, you know, kind of being more, you know, hey, you guys need to do this and this needs to be done. So I see like that creating a conflict there too.
I appreciate that. And I don't deny that my behavior was guided by the frustration that I was having in our situation. So I agree that keeping them on task with acceptable break times should be the priority.
And you know, I know I, instead of me just going straight to them, you know, I'll also include you, you know, talking to you more about it beforehand, and then maybe we can present like as a united front to the other employees, like, hey, you know, we're fine, we're working together, you know, things are kosher, everything's good now between us, and you know, this is kind of how it's going to be, and we're going to, you know, try and run it this way so it's going to be more smooth all up and down.
I appreciate that. I can respect that.
Okay. So let's recap what we've agreed on so far to make sure that I've got everything right here on the plan and that you guys are both in agreement with what we've decided here today. So Harper and Morgan, you two are going to work together on work assignments and dividing them up to the staff so that the staff doesn't feel that they are being overloaded or that work is just being assigned to one person and not another person.
Mhm.
And then you're also going to work together on cutting down on the extended social time and keeping the employees on task so that the work gets done.
Mhm. Yes.
I'm
Okay.
good with that.
All right. So before we conclude this meeting, I want to ask if something that we agreed on today does not take place or doesn't work out, what are we going to do at that point?
I know that if I start hearing from the employees that they're being treated unfairly, then I will go to Morgan about it directly in the future. I will make sure that Morgan understands that the employees feel this way, and whether it means that things need to change or whether it just is the way that things have to be, at least we can address it that way and respect their feelings in that regard.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good idea. And then, vice versa, I'll, come to you, too.
I appreciate that.
All right. So if things don't go as planned, you guys are gonna sit down, discuss between the two of you, and come up with a game plan on how to resolve the issues.
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. So I want to thank both of you again for taking the time to sit down with me to resolve these problems. I'll plan on following up with the two of you in about a week, or not a week, a month. Does that work for both of you?
Yeah, month sounds
Sit
good.
down and-
Definitely. Definitely that works.
All right. Thanks again for participating in this session. You guys have a good afternoon.
Thank you,
Thank
you
you.
too.
Thank you.